bushes around her, stepping over the roots of trees, and she came to the old sty and began to climb it, but it broke, you see. It broke and she fell down. But then when she got herself up, she was all right, and you could see the lights at home. And she began to walk towards home, and then a thing ate her. Good night. Night-night. You probably sent the child to bed because you were just tired talking to the child, because the child asks you questions. You see, and this is one of the great things about having a child. You look forward to teaching this child about the world and how it works. But the children they're like children, but they're bigger and they're webbed. They're not really interested in your views on the world. You know, they have their own questions. What is the name of the spaces in between the bits that stick out on a comb? I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, what do you call the place underneath the kettle? I don't know! Bedtime. But it's difficult. Children sleep in your bed. This is part of having children. It's very important for a child's development to sleep in the grown-up's bed, because their bones are growing in particular directions. You see, what happens is children are actually very sophisticated. They sleep in your bed for a reason. The child is born, it takes a look around, it thinks, well, this isn't quite what I'd hoped for. These people are idiots. I wouldn't have painted the house like this at all. But I've got to make the best of it. So I've got to maximize my resources. So the key thing is to stop these people having any more children. So children get urine samples sent through the post and sprinkle it on their beds. They're busy people. They don't have time to pee the beds themselves. And then they crawl into your bed. And because their bones are growing and everything, they can only sleep in certain positions, obviously. The crucifix and the swastika tend to be the most popular. Sometimes a combination of the two. But the thing that really relaxes a child is to have the big toenails lodged squarely in your respective genitalia. That ensures a blissful night's slumber. Then the sexual kidnapping is complete. No touchy-touchy, no kissy-kissy. You two need lots of sleep. I have many questions for tomorrow. Very important. But you lose so much of that natural, human panache that children have. You know, you tell the child to go to bed, and it puts that against what it wants to do, and synthesizes, and says, I hate you. I really hate you. As they're scratching their arse with a toy elephant. Now, if you could retain that sense of self in your adult life, you'd have a totally different experience. At work, telling your boss, I hate you. I scratch you. I really do. Every day is the same fucking shit. I don't know why I keep coming back. Difficult to keep a hold of, though. That's why adults are confused a lot of the time. Adults are terribly confused, messed up people. That's because they forget, really. But they don't have to pretend all the time. Really, the fact is, you're not an adult at all. You're just a tall child holding a beer. Having a conversation you don't understand. The Middle East, yeah, I know, it was really bad. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. Yeah. Hysterectomy, very painful. The shoulder is a very painful area. Being intimidated. I get intimidated by men, by other men. You know, we were talking about the driving lessons. There are guys talking in pubs about machines and cars. There's a whole culture of that. They're talking about the granumbulator on their whinny whacks of their car. And then they turn to me and go, what kind of car have you got? I go, I don't know, but when I get one, it's going to be a blue one. Men are always intimidating one another, competing with one another. They're more aggressive, I suppose. They did this study, actually, in the University of Chicago, with women, and they worked out that the women are incredibly good at reading male faces. You know, there's two types apparently. There's a kind of round, soft, sensitive-faced person who's a good person to have around and is good for you, good for a family, gentle and caring and can empathize. And then there's the other type, which is more kind of stronger jawed, more masculine looking, smaller eyes. You know, King Kong is what we're talking about here. And this, interestingly, this was the kind of male favored by women for what was called in the study brief relationships. What the fuck is that? One where you don't have to roll your tights down the whole way. What is a brief relationship exactly? No, I'm talking about all this, obviously. I'm talking about children and all that kind of, and jobs, mentioning these things to pretend to you that I have an ordinary life. And this is because I'm relating to you, and you're ordinary people, looking up at me with a mixture of awe, envy, and lust. And the thing is, my life is very different. I can't pretend it's not. When you go to work in the morning and you're going to the newsagent and everything to get your lunch of crisps and fags or stones or whatever it is you people live on, it's a long time since I lived in a house or ate food. You see all these magazines, because of the times we live in now, the culture, this celebrity stuff, this wall of dreams behind you with, Brad and Angelina and me and everybody else up there looking down on you, making you feel even more ordinary. But what you forget is that we all want to be you. We all want to have, 2.3 children and live in a house where nobody speaks to one another and work in a building society or something. We lie awake at night, tossing and turning, masturbating with both hands, with boutique chocolates falling out of our mouths, wishing we could be you, living somewhere like Willesden. And it's doubly difficult for me, because I'm an Irish celebrity. That's a very hard gig, because not many people do it. There aren't very many of them, and none of them are cool. You look at Geldof or Bono or anything, they can't do cool. You put, Bowie or Lou Reed on the cover of Time magazine, of course they look cool, because they can do all that stuff, all those looks. The ones that say, I don't even know you're there, but if I did, I'd ignore you. I'm having people flown in from other galaxies just to come and scratch me. You can't do that if you're Irish, because you have the face, and an Irish face always looks like it's been told two very important pieces of information at the same time. At one shoulder, somebody's just run up and said, you've just won 100,000,000 pounds and loads of stuff. And at the other shoulder, somebody's just whispered in their ear, but you only have 3 minutes to live. That's why everybody looks like this. Oh, the politicians and everybody you see on television always look like they're just about to pull a ham sandwich out of their pocket. And it doesn't actually belong to them. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first bit. I'm going to go away and I'll see you in a little... Wow, thank you. Bye. Thank you for sharing. Now, what's that? I appreciate everything you've done. I loved your early work. I think it's only getting better. So I was talking about something, and then I stopped. And you agreed, we left it there. But now the thing is, to get to it, what I really meant to say was, you probably all went and got a drink and everything in the interval, and, were propulsed along by your own needs, having them filled, which is what we do. Some people are taking pictures on phones. I don't know why people do that. It's very weird. Everybody does that now. We all take pictures. You do the same with holiday photos. You record something to look back on it, even though you're not really there when you're taking the picture because you're too busy recording it. So you're retrospectively going to look back on where you weren't and tell yourself you had a good time. But that's what holiday photos are, aren't they? You go away, you come back, you say, look,